Alrighty guys, buckle up because boy howdy do we have a lot to talk about in this video. As most of you guys all know by now, Borderlands 4 just got a massive gameplay reveal along with a deep dive into all the new things that are coming to the game. So in this video, we'll be covering everything you need to know about Borderlands 4, including what we know about the story, characters, weapons, mechanics, and more. So enough waffling, let's get into this video. So, as for the story, we know very little as to what's going to happen. However, they did give us some of like the setting and the world on which we'll be fighting on. So Borderlands 4 takes place on the world of Kairos. I hope I pronounced that right. Which is ruled over by a tyrannical timekeeper who rules over the world with his army of synthetic soldiers known as the Order. Now, where things get really interesting is they say that this timekeeper hides the world from the rest of the universe, and that is until the moon from the ending of Borderlands 3 gets teleported into Kairos, loosening his grip over the population and threatening his hold over the world of Kairos. Honestly, now personally, this is freaking epic. All of us were left with more questions than answers at the end of Borderlands 3 when Lilith seems to supernova and then disappear into thin air with the moon along with her. Like, bro, yeah, this is going to be insane. Now, we're finally going to get some answers because, again, in this audio clip from some of the gameplay, the Vault Hunters are actively on a mission to find Lilith. So this leads me to believe that she is still alive within Borderlands 4, or at least within the setting, and obviously plays some like role to the overall story, which again, so cool. I'm really glad they linked Borderlands 3 and Borderlands 4. I think that's way better than just doing like a whole new story with all new characters. Like, nah. Us Borderlands fans, we want the OG characters. You know what I'm saying? Now, other than this, we don't actually have much else when it comes to the story of Borderlands. But with what they've told us and what has leaked, I am so looking forward to getting this game. What do you guys think though? Is Lilith alive, or are we chasing a ghost? Let me know down below in the comments. So, with what we know about the story out of the way, let's take a look at the characters of Borderlands 4. Once again, they hit the nail on the head with this as they're bringing back some of the old characters from the previous games, along with obviously a whole bunch of new faces as well. And again, from the limited information we have, you can expect to see fan favorites like Moxie, Claptrap, and Zane, along with more we just don't know about yet. As for new characters, we only really have info on one right now, which is Echo 4, a new robot companion that will accompany you through the game and has unique abilities like pinging areas for enemies, showing locations, whether that be for like a main mission or otherwise. And honestly, it literally reminds me of Jack, the robot from the Gears of War franchise or series, and honestly performs more or less the same roles, like accessing control panels and whatnot, so that's pretty cool. Whilst we're on the subject of characters though, let's take a look at the 4 new Vault Hunters we gain access to. Now again, at this point in time, we only know the names of 2 of the 4. Vex is our newest siren, having much of the same abilities as all the other previous sirens in the Borderlands series. However, in this game, you'll gain access to a wide variety of different animals and creatures to assist you on the battlefield, which again is pretty cool, but if I'm being honest, I was never really a big fan of the sirens in the series, other than like OG Lilith from back in the day. Now, next up in the list, we have Rafa. Now, Rafa is an ex-TDO soldier with a state-of-the-art exosuit, which allows him to digistruct a wide variety of unique weapons and blades to assist him on his journey. And I gotta say, this dude looks very cool. Now, where things get a little bit hazy is the remaining 2 Vault Hunters. One of them is your usual melee kind of brick type of character with a Viking style to him, and he's dual-wielding axes. But apart from that, we only see pictures, so it's unclear as to what his ability will be, like his main ability, but it's probably safe to say it has something to do with those dual axes, I'm sure. And the last one is another female character, and from what we see in the gameplay, she seems to trap her enemies in bubbles that float above the ground and can explode. Like, I don't really know about this one. We don't have much footage to go on of these 2 classes, so I don't want to speculate on their abilities and how good they are, blah, 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 blah. But safe to say, these new Vault Hunters look insane. And I'm curious, guys, which Vault Hunter will you guys be playing and why? Now, the last thing I have to say on the characters is that the game devs say that these are the 4 characters you will get upon release. Let me just rephrase that, or emphasize that. upon release, which leads me to believe, like in all the other Borderlands game, there are already more Vault Hunters in the works for future DLCs, so I can't wait to see what they come up with. But let's be real, guys, true fans just want Krieg the Psycho back, the best Vault Hunter in the Borderlands series. Let's go. Alrighty, so I know what you might be thinking, Kilroy, how could there possibly be more to talk about? And believe me, there still is, and boy howdy, did we save the best for last. So, the movement in Borderlands 4 is next level. Not only do we get the usual jump, slide, dash, etc., but we actually have a new movement mechanic called glide, where you seem to hover in midair and I guess glide for a short period of time, making like jumping across large areas, gaps, ravines, all that kind of stuff a piece of cake. And on top of this, we do have a new grapple mechanic as well, which is quite nifty, obviously really good for traversal and getting around quickly, not to mention putting all these movement mechanics together whilst in combat is quite the show and looks amazing. You gotta see it, it's crazy. Now, with the addition of new movement mechanics to Borderlands 4, we're also getting a few new changes to weapons. So the main weapon change is they're adding 3 new vendors, which are called Order, Ripper, and Daedalus. I think I got that pronunciation right. Order focuses on powerful charge and release projectiles. Ripper is fully automatic, and I presume due to the name uses some form of blades as projectiles. And lastly, we have the very uniquely named Daedalus, which is able to use a variety of different ammo types. Now, don't worry, the OG vendors will still be around, but I think it's about time that they added some new additional weapon manufacturers to the game, so I'm super hyped for this. And the other big change to weapon is the ability for weapons to now drop with multiple vendor-specific parts. This is where it gets a little bit crazy. So for instance, in previous games you would pick up a TDO weapon and it would only have TDO parts. However, in Borderlands 4, your weapons have endless possibilities now. So you could have a TDO weapon allowing for you to throw the weapon upon reloading and exploding after a period of time, like all TDO weapons do. That's what TDO is. But in Borderlands 4, your TDO weapon could also have a torque magazine, allowing for explosive ammo, a Hyperion scope, which makes you shoot faster, so on and so on and so on. Now, this system is going to be rarity based, so the higher the rarity of your weapon, the more attachments said weapon can have. So you best believe your legendary weapons just got a lot more legendary with this new system. Personally, I can't wait to see some of the OP weapon combinations people might be able to find, and I'm very curious though, however, like, is this system something you can alter yourself, like at a weapons table, or will it be drop specific? Because if it's drop specific, players will need to grind endless hours for a chance to get the perfect weapon part combinations, which honestly, for me, sounds great. I think one of the best parts to the Borderlands series, other than its story, was spending hundreds of hours farming bosses for the best of the best weapons. But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But in all honesty, guys, talking about this just doesn't do it justice, so I recommend you guys go and watch the full deep dive that the devs have made. Super awesome gameplay and sneak peeks into what Borderlands 4 has to offer for us, so I'll leave a link in the description below for you guys all to watch. Alrighty guys, well that's gonna do it for this video. I know there was a lot of waffling, but there is a fair amount of new information to cover for this game. Regardless, I hope you all enjoyed and look forward to more of these videos coming out in the near future, as I'm so keen to get my hands on the new Borderlands game. Honestly, I just, can't wait to sink countless hours into farming for a stupidly rare weapon that is only slightly better than the previous one, but that's what Borderlands is all about, guys. As always, if you did enjoy, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button to help this video go out to more amazing viewers like yourselves. And until next time, guys, peace!